Yesterday on my Instagram I did a post about questions. What would people like to know if they don't know anything about signwriting or they're just starting out? And a lot of people ask lots of questions, and the idea is we're going to put a sort of secret guide to signwriting together, and it'll be free to anyone on my mailing list. So sign up to the mailing list if you haven't. Link in the bio, I'm sure, all that nonsense. But if you're an absolute beginner or you're just interested, then needless to say, you want a copy of this. And the reason I'm doing this is to explain the difference between the two books I've done. So this one was produced over the pandemic with myself and Scarlett. We did it completely via Zoom. It took 3 months. And this is jam-packed full of how to signwrite. But not only do beginners enjoy it, I've had signwriters that have been doing it all their life saying that they love it and they wish that this book was about when they were younger. Now, as a kid, my dad bought me a signwriting book, and I think it was an American one. I couldn't tell you what it was called. And I can remember reading it. Oh, this is interesting, but it seems a bit different to the way I've seen it done, because I always had signwriters around as I was growing up because of the environment I was in on the fair. And after that, I didn't really ever read any books. I was lucky enough to learn by Stan Wilkinson. And I looked at reference, but I didn't read a book. And there are books, I've been told, there's one by Bill Stewart, which people talk about. Well, I've never actually read it because I almost didn't need to, because I got taught by Stan. So everything in here is come from the fact that I've been teaching courses since 2006. And I started off with 1, and next year I did 2, and next year I did 3. This year, just gone, I probably did about 8 courses, 15 people at a time. I've taught hundreds and hundreds of people. So I've developed a way of teaching people, like fast tracking ways to learn how to do something in a short period of time. And it kind of leaves people facing the right direction. So the book, I put it all in there. There's so much in there. It was like, oh, well, I want to do another book now. What am I going to do? So I'll come on to that in a minute. So there's obviously there's even a bit in there about how we did the book, and then there's the thick and thin, and which side to put it on, and the importance of that. Then there's a Roman alphabet. That's what you want to start on. This is so important. People always want to start with the fancy stuff. Don't run before you can walk. And this is the thing. Although I'm known for the fancy stuff you might see on the cover, underneath it is the bones. That's the important bit. And I really do preach this. Although it's fun, I want people to enjoy it. I also want people to appreciate that you need to get it right. And there's Clarendon in there. And each page, there's 7 alphabets in here. There's little tips and little things to look out for, because I make people look at letters the way they've never looked at them before. And this letters are so beautiful, and typography is beautiful. And then, yeah, there's so much in here, even at letter anatomy. There's all sorts of little pointers in there, and about spacing and negative spacing and so on and so forth. Looks good, this book, I should read it. Letter spacing, that's a big thing people ask about all the time. So these days there's not many. There isn't any courses in this country, City and Guilds, and before that apprenticeship, there are not many people who can take on an apprenticeship because there isn't the weight of work there used to be. But there are lots of people doing it. But there's also lots of people doing it for fun. This is what I'm finding. People come to the courses because they want the experience, they want to learn about it, and they might go away and do it as a hobby. And then there are people that can make a career out of it. So the difference between the two books, this has sold probably 11,000 copies now worldwide, and it still sells now. What's the difference between this book? Why did I produce this book? Because I realised how much people like the alphabets in this book, and they like the scaling up method that I've developed to help people understand lettering. So this has got 26 different alphabets in it, all been hand painted by myself, Stan or Aaron. And there's more tips and things to look out for if you want to use this book. So that's a one I painted completely, and then there's the basic version. So you can scale it up and produce that yourself. All different ones in here. So probably the best way of describing the difference between these, and people are lured in, people want to do the fancy stuff, is that's your main course. Now, we all know that. And there's your dessert. This is the fancy stuff. So be careful, just hop into this one. I recommend this one first. buy them both basically. You won't regret it. People are raving over them. If I don't mind saying so myself, I'm very proud of them. And I'm probably mad enough to want to do another one in due course, because it was a real challenge producing the second book. That actually took 10 times the work of the first one. The first one was almost a walk in the park. It's all stuff that I'd been teaching people, and it just came easy. It was just put it all in this book, because I was doing online courses through the pandemic, so we were making worksheets. So it would just, I thought, no, just give as much information away. So if you are interested, if you are a beginner, make sure you've got the first book. Why not treat yourself to the second book as well, but don't run before you can walk. And if you're really, really interested and you want to do it, then book onto one of my courses. I've only got 5 spaces left on the one at the end of February, because I can really point you in the right direction. I will give you tips. We'll put this email together as a sort of beginner's guide, but just be careful you don't take yourself down the wrong path and teach yourself some really bad habits, because it's a very specialist thing. It takes hundreds of hours to get really good. It takes thousands to master. They say you need 10,000 hours to be a master of anything. And the reason I didn't start teaching it till I'd probably been doing it 15 odd years, so that I was at a level that I could then pass it on. And beware if you see people doing courses that themselves haven't been doing it that long, because there's a chance they've taught themselves or they haven't got the correct way of doing it. When you know the correct way of doing it, it's just an absolute delight. I'm very lucky painting signs like this, doing what I love. So either way, good luck. Keep following me on my socials. I like to give tips and tricks away for free and just show you little pointers. But as an entry point, we'll try and get this sort of email out to just keep it, because people, if you've not seen someone do it, where do you start? I mean, if I was, a rocket scientist, I'm not sure if I'd know quite where to start. Probably not as complicated, but it is a skill and it deserves your time if you're going to do it properly. Thank you.